Gonna talk about Vegeta. Gonna talk about manga chapter 75. And the reason why I want to bring this up and talk about this now is because I had a chance to go back and look at everything. And once I looked at everything, I was kind of rushing a little bit. And I didn't get a chance to let the shit marinate. And what I mean by that is I missed a lot of shit, you know? And I'm sure a lot of us did when all this news came out because the big talk on the internet was all about Vegeta, leading up to this chapter, like, oh yeah, he's gonna finally do something. He's finally gonna get a win. All these things, and right now, as it stands, the battle is not completely over. I'd say it's about 75% over right now. He technically hasn't been beaten yet, but he is on the downslide of this battle. Okay, his body has betrayed him. There's some things that happened, and everybody was talking about the new form. What this is going to be, what it's going to entail, all these things. And now we have a little bit more information after the information had a chance to sink in, and there's still more on the horizon. And I'll get into all that too. But what I want to start out with is his form, the ultra ego. He literally named that shit on the fly as he was fighting. And that brings up an even more important, I guess, topic in this conversation because it's fresh. I mean, I said that before. I mean, we know a lot of the Dragon Ball recipe, how the stuff is written, how things have to get done to proceed to get on to other things. And one of these things is the formations and how they're created and all of that. Usually when you have a new form, when you're saying, you typically don't have a grasp on it yet. It's fresh. It's new. I kind of look at it as, I look at it as, my son for a lot of instances. In my opinion, my son is like he's 8 years old, but he's just a ball of energy, just running around, just whatever. So that form he has not mastered that form. In other words, he will not, I can give him a game. I can give him whatever he wants. And I can say, be on your best behavior. Don't move around. Don't talk or keep it down. And he'll say, okay, he'll try. But his body will not allow him to do it for an extended period of time. He has to get around, move around, jump around the couch, all these things because it's that ball of energy. I kind of look at that in a sense of these Saiyan transformations when they first come, when they first appear. Okay. This ultra ego transformation that Vegeta has is so fresh. He literally got it while he was fighting Granola in that battle. He literally just woke it up. Kind of like how Granola did the same thing to him. How he awoken his power by fighting Vegeta and going to that limit, getting pushed to that limit. Now, this is why I say pump your brakes a little bit on this fight. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Vegeta is he could win this fight, but even if he wins this fight, he's not going to, in my personal opinion, going to win the major fight. Whoever's the major boss it ends up being in this, I have no idea. But whoever it is, he's not going to win that. Okay? And I say that because if you look at proof, that's going to give you your answer. Now, could we be surprised? Could something come out of the blue and they throw us a curveball? Yes, that's always possible. But they've always went the route that they're going now. Whatever route this is. They've stuck to it. Nothing has changed. Vegeta shows you that he has a new ability or he can do this, he can do that. And then what happens? He gets fucked in the end. It's just always been that way. And I think it's not going to stop. I hope it will stop. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that it is going to stop because I don't see it in the horizon. It just keeps on keeping on. And people are getting disappointed. People are frustrated. I've talked about my frustration. I'm sure a lot of people out there have vented their frustration with the direction that a lot of this writing is going. But then you have to always tell yourself, 9 out of 10 of us are going to go back to the series, are going to read the next manga chapter, are going to watch the anime when it comes out because we still love the series. It's like, yeah, we love to bitch and moan about it, but we still love it. We're still going to come back to it. And like I said before in previous episodes, guys, there would be no discussions. There would be no upset people, fans, whatever you want to call us. There would be none of that if it wasn't for Toriyama picking up a pen and paper and making something happen. It just wouldn't be possible. So for the simple fact that exists, that these characters exist, or is a blessing in disguise for some people because it feels like we're being snowed, we're being, led astray. but we're not. I mean, we know what's coming, and 9 times out of 10, it always happens that way. So I mean, we can't really be mad for, or if it's going the way we predicted it, in a sense. You know, it's a lot of mixed feelings. There's a lot of things involved with this series, guys, as a whole, and how I feel about it. But at the end of the day, I have to say that I truly love the series. I truly love the characters. I mean, I've spent hundreds of dollars on merch and all these things, some of it which I'm wearing now. And it's just, I'm a fan of the series. So, yes, I'm going to be passionate. And other people listening or watching or even talking about this stuff, they're just passionate fans venting their frustrations and things that should be, maybe possibly changed. Because now with the internet and everything, we have the power and the ability to call people on whatever they put out. I mean, if you say something, 9 times out of 10, they can go back behind what you said and find out that source, get that source, and they can call you out on it. So be very careful what you talk about online, especially when you're talking about facts and things of that nature, because somebody's out there knowing that they can go out and they can pull up this information and call you on it, you know. And with all these characters that Toriyama has created, there's bound to be mistakes. There's bound to be plot holes. And he even said it himself, he's forgotten stuff. He's forgotten abilities. He's forgotten moves about, certain characters. All these things he's not shied away from. And now we're in this world where everything when it concerns Dragon Ball is completely off the cuff, man. I mean, canon does not fucking matter anymore. Okay, we got a new Brawly now who's completely different. We got, a new fucking Bardock in that movie, in that story, because, he changed that story up. So there's a lot of that going on. And I feel some type of way about it. I kind of feel like we're in a Marvel universe or a DC comic book universe now, because, anything can change. Whatever you feel about a certain character could easily be changed completely overnight if Toriyama felt the need to do so, or Toyotaro, if he gave him permission to do so. So we're standing there, and I'm trying to embrace it all, as opposed to just bitch and moan about all the things all the time. But it's just so frustrating because on one hand, there's a lot of things that are canon about the series that will never change, the core, aspects of a lot of this stuff. But then there's a lot of things around it that could easily be cemented as canon, but it's not, because it gets changed and flipped around and all these other things. So I'm going to try to keep an open mind moving forward with whatever comes, in front. Whatever else comes out, whatever else is written, you have to, because if you don't, you're just going to be mad all the time about it, and it's not worth it, especially over a series that you're passionate about and you actually love. Just learn to kind of embrace what it is. But yeah, I mean, this Vegeta situation here, let's jump back on this. I got a little sidetracked, but there's a lot of things that if you're reading between the lines, you can find and you can see. Perfect example of that would be how like I said before, he unlocked this ability for the first time, so it's fresh. He doesn't know a lot of it. He's still learning it. It's going to take time to master it. And if you look at the color scheme, nobody really knows the true color scheme of the characters. Now, there's art out there, artists who have colored in, what the manga image looks like, or what color they think his hair is going to be, and all of that. But we don't technically know. We don't know what color that aura is going to be. And we won't know that for a few months. I think the word around in the street is around, the end of the year, towards the holidays, like November, December, where they're going to put out a color version of the next chapter, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to hopefully dictate, the true, what Toyotaro really wants us to know as far as that's concerned. It's going to tell a lot. And the reason why I say that is because it may not be purple. It may not be purple, streams in his hair or highlights or whatever you want to call it. And that might tell a lot of the story, because if you think about, not Vegeta, if you think about Goku's Ultra Instinct, think about that. All right, think about when he first unlocked it, when he fought, when I think he was fighting, who was he fighting? Jiren, okay? And what it looked like. It was black, but it had white or silver kind of edging around his hair, right? Now, that was because it wasn't mastered. Now think of the mastered version of the Ultra Instinct, and it's like a silver whitish kind of color, completely covered. His whole hair is colored now. All right. Think of Vegeta in that sense as well. Okay, this is fresh, whatever that you want to call this ultra ego. That's what he calls it. It's not set in stone. Okay, like I said, they could give us a color of who knows what color it's going to be. It could be blue. It could be red. We don't know. And then once it's mastered, it's going to probably take on a different color all on its own anyway. So be looking out for all those things. Some people even say or claim that he may regrow his tail with this new form once it's mastered. But that's the thing that keeps me excited about Vegeta and his newfound power, if you want to call it that, because it's not fully developed, not even close. He just unlocked it fighting Granola, so there's going to be time for that, and I hope there's something to love about what's coming up next. Like I said, though, I don't know, guys. I think the transformation as it stands is cool. If you're a Vegeta fan, you're kind of cool with that because at least it's something he's added to his repertoire. You know, I look at it like that. But after that, beyond that point, I have no clue what's going to entail, what this all means, you know, as far as he's concerned in all of that. Now, we speculate all day long with what's going to happen. And keep in mind, Frieza has not been seen yet. I don't know what angle they're going to go with this story when we build up to the climax. Frieza has not been mentioned, has not been seen. Okay, we know Granola wants to kill him. All right. As we know, Frieza could be out there right now training, trying to get stronger. We don't know what the fuck we have in store for him, what's in store for him yet. You got the Heaters that just came down trying to find the Dragon Balls as well. So it could be, you know, Granola finally seeing the error of his ways and linking back up with Vegeta and Goku, and they going after the Heaters, or they could be going after Frieza, or Frieza could be the, who fucking knows? It could be, there's so many things that this could entail. And it could be them going against Frieza all over again. You know, because Frieza will stab you in the back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. He does not give a fuck. And that's part of the reason why I love him so much. But like I said, who knows what they're going to write for him? Could the Heaters get these wishes and start clowning and wish upon the star on some crazy shit? And then it has to be Vegeta, Goku, Granola, and Frieza versus these guys? I don't fucking know. I don't know, but I have a hard time believing that Granola is going to. He may get cool with the Saiyans, but I don't think he's going to feel that same way about Frieza, no matter what is going on. So I don't know, man. It's going to be up in the air. But as far as Vegeta's ultra ego is concerned, there's a lot that we're missing here. There's a lot that hasn't been given to us yet. And if you look at all of if you look at all of the writing on the wall, if you can read between the lines, you can see some of these things start to develop. Okay. Also, let me mention that the form wasn't working as intended. Okay. This form is supposed to have you become stronger as you take more damage. But in retrospect, looking at this chapter, he was literally getting weaker with the more damage he was taking. And I think he figured that taking damage would make him stronger, adding to the fact that this is a brand new form and it's not fully developed, not even close. That ended up reversing, and his body ended up betraying him partially because of that. I think that's just my opinion. So I think once it's mastered, it will kind of flip an on switch and reverse everything that's going on as far as what his powers were intended to do once he got into this form. That's just me speculating, throwing it out there, but that's how it played out in the manga. So we shall see. Only time will fucking tell. Yeah, and I'll leave it at that, man, because I don't want to speculate too much with this arc, with this story, because I want to let it kind of play out. I want to let it kind of play out and see what happens and see what everybody's talking about, and we'll leave it there. I also hope that we soon get the anime to come out. Now, if you had to ask me today, and I had to give you an answer today, I would say that we would be getting news in 2022 about Dragon Ball Super returning as an anime. And I only say that because by then we will be ahead by 2 whole arcs, probably going on the 3rd arc. And that should be a good place for where we're going with Dragon Ball. Now, there's been people out there that said they believe that Toyotaro and Toriyama and them, those guys are coasting right now. They're being lazy and they're coasting off of the love and the fandom of Dragon Ball because they know it's one of those it's one of those entities that will never die. It's one that's so popular that they could put out Goku taking a shit and it will sell like hotcakes, okay? Because it's Dragon Ball, plain and simple, worldwide. Okay, you can't be closed-minded when you think about Dragon Ball because yes, it's huge in America, but it's even huger in other places, Mexico and all these other fucking foreign lands. It's a phenomenon, and it's not gonna stop making money. And I think Tori Taro and those guys are like, look, we can fucking make money no matter what we do with this franchise. The customers are still going to watch, they're still going to buy, and so that's what they're doing. You know, I don't believe that they've really had a gun to their head, so to speak, in that writing room where people are saying, look, man, we need something new. We need something juicy. We need something good. We need something to kind of throw off the fans. And I think that's the only way, you're going to get a lot of people to change their tune. You gotta, mix it up a little bit. Okay. Kind of like, I guess, putting Android 17 in the Tournament of Power and having him do what he did. Yeah, that was the only shakeup that I got. And for me personally, it wasn't a very good one because I felt that should have been Gohan's place. That should have been where they put Gohan, not 17. Okay, and that, I mean, if you're a 17 fan, I'm sure you're gonna love that decision. But if you're looking at it as a whole, I think Gohan should have been implanted in that role. But that's just me. You know what I mean? Somebody who they've written into a corner, kind of like how they did the Saiyans, and it's kind of showing now. I mean, what else can you guys do? You made these guys too OP as fuck. You made Gohan extra OP, and now you nerfing him is kind of like a white blip on a all white piece of paper. I mean, you can't miss it. It's just all in your face. So it's like, what is this? What are you doing? It doesn't make sense, and you expect the fans to just swallow it and walk away. It's hard to do that when these characters have been built up the way they have been, and then when you see something like that happen to one of them, it just kind of throws you off. Not in a good way, though. And like I said, I'm not a Gohan fan by any stretch of the imagination, at least the canon, quote-unquote, Gohan. But even I could see that this is being poorly written. The direction they're taking doesn't make any sense. And I think, a lot of people want to see just relevant change that is believable, in the world of Dragon Ball. And I'll walk away from that because I'm starting to go into a rant and I'll leave it alone. Like I said, guys, I am hyped about the next chapter and to find out what's going to happen with the tail end of this fight and what's going to happen with the heaters when they touch down. Anxious to see what's going to happen, and I really want to see what that color scheme looks like so that we can figure out at what point Vegeta is. We know it's beginning, but where this could possibly end up for him, and that's still a mystery in itself. But I'll leave it at that, guys. That is the discussion that I wanted to have with you guys with this Vegeta's Ultra Ego thing.